Hi, Facebook friends and family. So I am here with another another Olympus Pools victim. So this is Jason and Brielle and their two little boys here. And I'm just going to have them tell their story and what's been going on with their pool. You can see that it is not finished, or like most Olympus pools are not finished. They're dealing with the same thing that we are. So I'm going to actually just turn the camera around, and Jason is going to explain a little bit about what's going on with their pool. All right, Jason.
So we signed our contract in August of 2000.
I'm going to get the pool behind you.
While building our new home here in Lakeland, Florida. I guess the permitting process went okay. They started digging probably September, October. Things started to come along okay. Got slow at a couple of points. Probably around towards the end of the year, December, January, things weren't progressing as I guess they were outlaid.
Yeah, and you signed your contract in September, you said?
August of 2020. Yes.
August of 2020, okay.
From there, we went through several salespeople along the way, different contacts at Olympus Pools. There's been multiple turnover, I think, as everybody knows. So dealing with several people, and then the next time you talk to someone, it's never the previous person's fault, or if they're new to the situation, or whatever it is. And, at the end of the day, we sign a contract with Olympus Pools, they're an employee. Probably the worst of which started probably in February of this year, when all we had left to do was plaster. They had actually made a good amount of progress. They were making some good strides, probably February, March. And right at the end, we got to the final stage here. Literally all they have to do is put plaster in this pool and fill it with water.
Right.
That was supposed to be, they told us that was going to happen the week before Easter.
Okay, week before Easter.
Week before Easter.
And you were supposed to get plaster.
Yes.
And we are now July, what today is? 17th, and there's still no plaster.
Still no plaster. So I was calling my project manager multiple times. He guaranteed week before Easter. Obviously that came and gone. They guaranteed us in writing on Builder Trend that it was going to be done by April 29th. So I had that in writing from them. Obviously that day is come and gone. About 2 weeks after that date, our project manager and scheduler for quit Olympus Pools are no longer there. Got assigned to a new project manager who came in and made a bunch of promises. I'll have your pool done in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Obviously, nobody even showed up for the site after he came. So they're about over 100 days now of no work on site.
100 days of no work.
100 days of no work, and all I have left to do is plaster. Literally
Wow.
come in. I have 3 plaster quotes right now, of which I'll probably pull the trigger on 1. People will be here next week, 2 weeks.
And what are they telling you when you call to ask about, okay, when is a new date for plaster?
So the most recent ordeal was I called 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, and they said, oh, your plaster's scheduled by Friday. We're going to come clean the pool. We'll be here by Friday. Well, I've got the names of the plaster people now. I'm going down the chain. I called the plaster guys, we haven't talked to Olympus Pools in 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then I called my project manager back and well, why is my guy telling me this if you're telling me that, or why is the company that you're supposed to come finish my pool telling me you haven't even scheduled and they haven't talked to me for 6 weeks and you're telling me they're going to
Right. So more miscommunication,
so,
more lies. Yes.
Lie at that point.
Right.
At this point, they might as well not communicate because there's nothing to communicate. They're not. If they say they're going to come do it, they're not. Because I'm going to call. I'm going to find out who they're bringing in for plaster. I'm going to call them, and it's not going to happen.
Right.
We'll see. As far as I know, a lot of people probably have plaster left, and they're not doing a lot of plaster jobs.
And do you know if Polk County has an in-house crew as well? Like,
I don't know. I know that they have an in-house plaster crew or interior crew that they are using,
Okay.
that they should be using, and it should be cheap.